Serena and everyone at Women Empowered for blessing me with such an opportunity, especially amongst such inspirational people as Asma and Ravi. For the past 2 years, connectivity has been what my platform is about, and I would love to share this journey with you because connectivity is easy. It just takes two things that we all have, time and knowledge. To me, that's all it takes to connect, and that small thing that you give of yourself can have a big impact on somebody else, on the person or the people that you're connecting to. RecommendAsian was started by me as a Facebook group 2.5 years ago. Time, it took me about 30 minutes. Knowledge, I copy and pasted an Amazon link. That's it. Why? Well, I'm a typical coconut. I love the rich heritage that we have, but I don't always know how to access it. In this diaspora that we live in, how do we stay connected to our roots? So my friend Rohana was wearing a sari every day at my Jamakhana, and it completely impressed me. And I was like, dude, I just don't have the time to put a sari on. I'm 43 years old and I still go to my mum's house if I want to wear a sari. I just can't do it myself. And she told me about this gadget called the Sari Saheli. And of course, I went home and Amazon primed it straight away. And when I got it, it took me 5 minutes to put a sari on with like the most perfect pleats. And I was like, this would make such a big difference to my fellow coconuts. So you know you get those friends, they bake a perfect cake, but they will never share the recipe with you, or they leave out a key ingredient. Well, I'm the total opposite. All those Myers-Briggs tests that you take at work, I always came out the same in them. Typical people pleaser. And I thought this was a weakness, that essentially I was just a doormat. But what actually is true is that I perceive this weakness as a strength now. It can help me make people's lives better. And that's all I wanted to do. I wanted to give a recommendation to my friends to help them when they wanted to wear a sari for an occasion. But how to do it? It's not like you can just pick up the phone and ring your friends and say, hey, I found this gadget. Facebook seemed the perfect platform. And I thought there must be other things that people want to share or know. So I set up RecommendAsian. I added 219 of my female friends, and off I went. I would like to point out that there was no goals. I had no strategy, no expectations. In fact, if anything, if everyone was like our cake baking friend, it would probably fade to nothing because nobody would share anything. I would also like to point out that I am a very ordinary person. I'm not particularly intellectual, political, I'm not very confident, I'm totally disorganized. I have 2 kids that I spend most of my time refereeing. I'm constantly cleaning my home, but it never looks tidy. I'm always on a diet, I never lose any weight. And I always wear high heels and immediately regret it, but when it's too late to go back and change. I'm no one exceptional, yet from half an hour of wanting to share, extraordinary things have happened. To my surprise, RA just grew and grew. Women started thanking me because they were recommended a great sari blouse tailor, or they followed an awesome recipe, like the tortilla samosas, they're very good. They're a big hit. Men came up to me and thanked me because their lives had become easier, because their wives had taken over finding plumbers or gardeners or getting a handyman to fix that shelf that had been sitting there for 6 months. And RA involved. It wasn't just about lipstick and home decor. People started to come forward anonymously, seeking advice on domestic abuse, molestation, miscarriages, and people bravely responded, sharing their personal journeys. Women thrived by connecting, by taking their time to share their knowledge. Ordinary women like myself made a difference to complete strangers, making them actually extraordinary. Businesses were launched on RA. Entrepreneurs thrived due to recommendations. Women got so much together because of the platform, and we created Mini Asian for parenting, Transformation for Diet and Health, and ConnectAsian for singles, where we've already had 2 weddings and a number of happy loving relationships formed. People who live in remote areas where there are very few Asian felt reconnected to their peers. Men started asking me if I would create a male equivalent. I was like, no. Men don't communicate the same way that we do. I don't think they would share their grooming tips on what wax to twiddle their moustache with, or what their favourite puffs are. And personally, I wasn't interested in like Makita drills or Premiership banter. But what men do like to talk about is business. And there were so many business women on RecommendAsian. So 6 months after RecommendAsian started, ProfessionalAsian was launched. It was a space for men and women to collaborate and network, and business took place, a space for men and women connecting. Shortly after its launch, it was time to take this online community to the real world. So we had RecommendAsian socials, where RA ambassadors would coordinate coffees and dinners for local members. Ronnie, who's one of our admins and runs the Mini Asian group, she unfortunately suffered 9 miscarriages. She has 2 wonderful children now, but she started a baby loss and fertility group where women who have experienced this can connect and share. We started business networking, which we hold twice a month. And in collaboration with Harry from Black Cubed, we launched Hey Gorgeous, a one-day shopping event connecting professional Asian businesses in fashion, jewellery, accessories, and food to the Asian audience in RA, enabling people to access businesses that usually work from home or via the internet. Combined, the groups have over 130,000 members today, and every day, every hour, even every minute, people are connecting to help one another. Between the groups, we have around 6,000 posts and 60,000 comments per month. That's 60,000 comments to help one another. 60,000 instances of people giving their time and their knowledge in a month. And the impact on the members is phenomenal. I asked for some success stories from the group members, and there were many people that came forward with amazing stories about their businesses and about their personal lives, and there are a couple I'd like to share. One lady posted anonymously as her family member was self-harming. There was so much support and love given to her, and the responses, and as a result she connected to Priya and Amlani, who coached the family in communicating with their precious daughter. And in fact, at the first Hey Gorgeous, the mother made herself known to me, and with tears in her eyes, and was so grateful to the platform and to Priya, because she said they never would have got where they were today if it wasn't for RecommendAsian. Another lady, Ria, she was on holiday in Bali and had a driver there, and she recommended him on the groups, and people used him and told other women about it. And as a person who used to work for someone else, he'd only get something like $10 for a full day's work. And now he has his own business and he's flourishing in Bali. Like, wow. Anjali organised an event called Save the Girl Child to raise money for Unique Home for Girls. That's a registered charity in India, and they look after girls that have been abandoned just because they were born girls. She reached out through RAMPA for volunteers and sponsors and businesses that could contribute towards the raffle, and was inundated with offers from amazing businesses. On one night she raised over £11,000, and this has helped pay for school fees for these abandoned girls, and their future is now looking bright. She said to me, "I've worked in the public sector for over 25 years and would never have had access to met the lovely individuals and businesses had it not been for these wonderful platforms that you started, so thank you." The power of connectivity is immense. I want to acknowledge that these platforms are only possible because of amazing admins who give the time to moderate these groups. Again, just ordinary people like me who are doing an extraordinary job. and they're my friends and my colleagues now. A couple of them are here, Amit and Arti, but there's a whole heap of them backstage that do so much. And it's possible because people come together for a cause. So from my heart, thank you to them and thank you to their families, because if in my house, my husband, who's incredibly supportive, Sham, he'll come in and he'll say to Zico and Zima, "Where's Mum?" And they'll go, "She's probably on Facebook." And they're right, and all of us are like that. All the admins spend an inordinate amount of time adminning the groups. And also, it wouldn't be possible to connect without members, the members who give so much of their time and knowledge. So thank you to all those members who share so willingly, openly and honestly. Ladies and gentlemen, there is more we can do. As well as give our time and knowledge, we can create even more connectivity and help for one another by casting aside judgment. The real barrier I think we face is people not being able to reach out for fear of being judged. While we allow you to hide behind anonymity, discourse tends to be one way because anonymous people don't respond. People are shy to talk about subjects such as mental health, adoption, fertility, sex, homosexuality, domestic violence, taboo subjects that we should be able to talk about without fear of being judged. Connectivity is simple as a conversation between two people. The conversation, whether it's between 2 people or 60,000 people, should be respected. People face difficulties every day and don't share or have that conversation because they feel shame or they're scared. Let's try to make these conversations safe. Let's be open and honest and keep sharing our time and knowledge. And I hope the more we connect, the more these barriers will come down. I'm Zamiha Desai, an ordinary person, open to dialogue, open to sharing my time and my knowledge without judgment. So I look forward to connecting with all of you. Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, the super connector that is Zamiha Desai. No plan, but what? It's Zamiha's first time speaking in front of an audience this size, so we won't ask her a question, we'll ask her a friendly question afterwards when she's understood how amazing she was on stage. Our final speaker, by no means least, is our male speaker for the evening,